Good evening to you all. It's a beautiful day and has been a beautiful day. As always, I actually just turned 16 a few weeks ago. And well, what better way to reflect than to film a YouTube video about everything that I've learned and gone through so far? I'm still very young, I'm aware of that, but I do also know that I've pushed myself to do a lot of things since the age of 13 to 14. So in this video, I'm just going to be talking about everything that I've done and experienced so far in my life up until this point of being 16 years old, and also the biggest lessons that I've learned throughout these years, as well as the visions that I have for the future. So it all started back during COVID. I had only just discovered the entrepreneurial online business industry and the online business world. And the first thing that I came across was Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies. I got pretty curious, and I also had absolutely nothing to lose because of the fact that I was just stuck in my room during COVID with nothing better to do. If you're watching this, I'm sure you know what COVID was like. I was stuck in my room for months. So I got pretty curious and I put my first deposit into my Coinbase account at the time of $7 because that's all I had. I had started investing into Ethereum and Bitcoin during the big crash in 2022. And if you follow anything about cryptocurrencies, you might also know that recently Bitcoin has taken a pretty good turn and pumped up quite a bit. But anyways, I continued to invest myself into crypto and I saved up literally anything that I could get my hands on. I would basically invest into crypto every single week, and I had also invested my birthday and my Christmas money. Honestly, anything that I could get my hands on, I just dumped it all into crypto. On the other hand, I was also spending a lot of time studying things about trading, and I was doing some demo trades. This went on for quite a while, but I was 14 and I honestly couldn't commit to a trading career until a few months later. And that's where things got pretty crazy. I had managed to save up around 300 bucks within the span of 6 months, and I didn't really have that much knowledge about futures or trading. So for 6 months, I was really just trying to make the most out of the investment that I was putting in and the savings that I was putting into crypto, but it honestly got me nothing. But one day though, finally after COVID, when I was able to go out, I was actually out with a few friends and I had bumped into an old friend who had moved to England, but he was visiting for vacation. We were catching up. I hadn't seen him in a while, and at some point he told me about how he started trading futures. I kid you not, this guy pulls out his phone and shows me the amount that he made that day alone, which was 200 bucks. Now today, that's honestly nothing to me, but at the time, it was mind blowing that it was even possible to make 200 bucks in one day from trading. And for the 6 months after that, I was trading futures and I was day trading, and oh my god, trading was probably the worst and best thing that's ever happened to me. It taught me the hardest lessons that honestly isn't acquirable in any other domain. The harshness of the lessons that I've learned in other business models don't compare to the pain that trading made me feel, honestly. And for those who know anything about trading, it mentally tortures you. At the age of 14 to 15, I had some days where I'd make $1,500 in a single night, and I also had other days where I would lose the same amount overnight. It was just an absolute mess. But I did manage to make a fair amount of profit from trading in crypto, but I did manage to make a fair amount from trading crypto overall over these years. Crypto has done me pretty well in terms of profits, but it was so inconsistent, unreliable, and just simply unsustainable. It didn't even matter how I prepped up my setups within the markets. I was never able to predict how much I would be making in a month. I didn't know if I would lose or make 500 bucks the next day. And so with that, I understood that even though crypto has done me pretty well over the years and has brought me some genuine profits, it was simply unsustainable and it was not something that I could commit to as a career. I do know though that if I hadn't gone through that phase, I would never be where I am and who I am today, and who I'll eventually be later on. I guess that applies to everything that you go through and learn in life, but trading honestly had the biggest toll on me because of how young I was and also because of how tough the mindset of a trader actually is. When it comes to trading, you need to master your mind in such a way where you literally turn off your emotions. The markets are run off greed and fear, and trading is quite basically 90% psychology, and 10% statistics or anything to do with strategies. It's not hard to trade and understand the fundamentals and the analysis of a market, but the hard part is being able to handle a loss without going mental, or being able to take a win without being greedy to trade again and eventually blow up your account, which was something that happened to me many, many times. I heard an awesome quote that said, "The trade that you take after your loss is the one that will make you successful." And that quote honestly completely changed the way that I think. Every single time that you fail, you get closer and closer to success. And this applies to everything and anything, not just trading. This is the mindset that you need to have. Your ability to pick yourself back up and to work again, regardless of how you feel, is the only mindset that will set you up for success. Now, I've heard a lot of people that say, it's okay to feel your emotions, but it's not okay to act on them. And I completely agree with that, but it simply didn't apply to me because of what trading was doing to me mentally. Sure, I could push my emotions aside and stick to a logical setup, but it would literally drive me insane. I kid you not, I would stay up until 4 a.m. whilst also having school the next day at 7 a.m. just looking at the chart and just staring at the candles moving. I wasn't even analyzing anything. I was just looking at the candles pump green and red by the minute. That is literally how mad it drove me. And so with that, I've managed to detach myself to the concept of money, and I managed to do it in such a massive way that I'm no longer emotionally triggered or attached to money. I just now see it as numbers that correlate to a certain amount of value. And I still remember that one night that I had made $1,500 overnight at the age of 14, 15. And I was more upset than I was happy. There were many other things that factored into me basically becoming fully detached to the emotions that I had towards money. And that was honestly really the first turning point. Now, I only understood these things as I went through the failures that I went through. Trading was the harshest career that made me develop the ability to master my mind and my emotions in such a way that I became a totally different person with a totally different mindset at a very young age. Anyway, I'm still pretty big on crypto in terms of investing. I love Bitcoin, I love Ethereum, I love crypto overall. But obviously, I've moved on from trading because of all the reasons that I had mentioned. I have such a love-hate relationship with trading, and I understood that it wasn't healthy or sustainable in any way. So after having understood that, I concluded with myself that it was time to move on to other things and to move on to a more sustainable business model. So I got into video editing a year ago, literally on the night of my birthday. I was sitting on my balcony at exactly 11:50 p.m. to take my first ever sales call for a video editing job that I ended up closing for $80 a month. At the time, I was also trying to take on other side hustles, which honestly weren't any side hustles at all. But that same night, I was cold calling for a company to try and get more experience in sales. So me trying to learn sales by cold calling and actually closing my first ever deal on the same night was so enlightening to me. But anyways, I had to make around 5 videos a day, which to me now is basically slavery, but at the time, I was over the moon. I was so happy that I finally got my first ever paycheck, but that's also when I fell into a really big trap. And honestly, the biggest trap of them all. I ended up pursuing this video editing career for 7 to 8 months, which was honestly quite long wasted, but I had learned such a crucial lesson. I was doing absolutely everything I could to get as many jobs as possible, and I was honestly overworking myself to the brim because I just wanted to get money into my bank account. All I cared about was getting paychecks into my account. I remember I literally accepted to take a job for 50 cents per video, and I was required to do 15 videos a day. On the other hand, I was spamming my DMs to try and get more clients, and I was offering free trials, I was offering free videos, but that was also the way that I had gotten taken advantage of. I can't even tell you the amount of times where I would make 3, 4, 5 videos for free where I was promised that I was going to get paid, but actually never did. I was signing so many deals, but 80% of them either scammed me took advantage of me, or ghosted me after I delivered the work. I was just so desperate to get money that I ended up destroying my mental health in the process. I was getting 2 hours of sleep every single night with school the next day just to finish projects that I never got paid for. Sure, I made a bit of money from video editing, but it was destroying me so much to the point where I understood that I was draining my potential more than I was actually flourishing it. My entire goal was to become an entrepreneur. And in the process of trying to make money, I got so hooked onto the dopamine of it that I became a slave without even knowing it. Now, I'm glad that I managed to learn these things at such an early age because, as sad as it is, most people go their entire lives working for money doing something that they hate, which was the position that I was in at the time with video editing. And after having realized all of these lessons, I understood that making money isn't even actually about making money at all. It's about becoming the person worthy of making money and becoming the person worthy of achieving success. And so, me wanting to be an entrepreneur, I came to the realization that everything I was doing was not even remotely aligned to what was going to make me the person that deserves and is worthy enough to get success. Everything I was doing was not even remotely aligned to who I needed to be in order to get location, time, and financial freedom. Now, when you make money online, ideally you already unlock the location freedom side of the equation, but both of the careers that I had pursued or was trying to pursue honestly didn't bring me time freedom or enough financial freedom at all. And so I understood that it was time for a change and that I needed to find an opportunity which was going to be calculated and which was going to act as a cash flow machine instead of just another job opportunity that I'd have to exchange my time for again. This machine for me was and is social media marketing as well as AI infrastructure. AI is honestly quite a shiny topic nowadays, but it's an absolute life-changing tool. I'll make another video about this, but overall with SMMA, I've not only been able to tap into an opportunity that allows me to use leverage, but it's also the opportunity that has really calculated return on investments. And so as I pursued SMMA and when I closed my first client within my SMMA agency, I told myself that this was going to be the stepping stone into this new and real chapter of entrepreneurship. Looking back though, I'm honestly really grateful for the hardships that I had to learn with video editing because I know that all the sales calls that I took for video editing formed me into the person that was able to close my first client within 2 weeks of my agency's launch. Throughout all this, I was also spending quite a lot of money on courses. But to be honest, courses can only really teach you the basics, but after that, you simply need to think for yourself. Unless you pay for an actual mentor to guide you through everything, courses will only really teach you the basics. I learned 90% of the things that I know now from pure failures. And those are the failures and those lessons and the lessons that you learn from the failures are the lessons that will ultimately stick with you and guide you through everything. Apart from that though, SMMA isn't an easy business model either. I still spend every night doing some cold calls and getting rejected every single day on a daily basis. The kind of work that SMMA demands from you is the kind of work that most people would never be capable of doing. But that honestly is also what I've come to love. I'll make another video about exactly why I started my SMMA and the things that I had to learn in the process of starting my agency. But again, SMMA has really allowed me to turn into a chapter of becoming an actual entrepreneur. Now, of course, every single business model is hard and has its own challenges, but SMMA probably has changed me the most so far because of how many things it's demanded from me. I had to learn sales, I had to learn leadership, I had to learn marketing, I had to learn advertising, I had to learn client acquisition, I had to learn team management and all these things. But because SMMA demanded me to learn all these things in order to find success within this specific business model, it also developed me as a person to a whole nother level. I have two clients at the moment within my agency that I'm also currently delivering for, and I've faced many problems as well as having found the solution to them all. I do understand that obviously there's still many issues that I'm facing and will be facing in the foreseeable future. Honestly, I'm not even sure where this is going to go, but what I do know is that I'm following my dreams and I'm sticking to the plan that's in front of me because that is what it takes. So far, it's been working fairly well and I have a lot of things to manage, but SMMA has really opened up new doors for me. And it has opened these doors for me in a way that video editing and trading never could have. And as I'm growing my agency, I'm also taking the time to film videos like this to document my journey and to document the entire process as well as moments just like this one, which I can look back on in the future. To be honest though, apart from me trying to make money and me trying to run a business and me trying to just document my journey, I'm actually in the pursuit of something much bigger than that. I'm building myself up with this YouTube channel to be able to provide value and inspire other young women just like myself. I'm here to show people the beautiful side of life where you can get anything that you want if you do what it takes. And my purpose is to be an example of that. There are so many different life-changing opportunities and business models that people can tap into. And the dream lifestyle that these opportunities offer is the lifestyle that I want to portray to people around me and to people just like you. And to people just like you who have the potential to achieve it as well. Now, of course, I'm aware that it's going to take a lot of time and I will have to face many other and harder challenges. I've got many more goals and plans that I'm working on and pursuing every single day, but it's always important for me to take a moment to reflect on everything that I've done so far within this year and to reflect on exactly what it is that I'm envisioning for the future and for the years to come. It's honestly been a very interesting year with full of challenges and full of lessons. And each year that I live is another year that I take full advantage of to pursue my dreams. I'm now in a stage where I understand that my calling and my purpose is much higher than just getting some jobs done for video editing. This is now genuinely the stage where I flourish my potential to the absolute fullest, and the next years to come will be dedicated to absolutely nothing but the pursuit of this purpose. Now, of course, I've still got a long way ahead and I've still got a lot of work to do, but I'm very excited. I'm genuinely looking forward to another year full of opportunities and lessons to be learned. All that I can really say is that my faith is in God, and it is now within my hands to follow and materialize the purpose that has been given to me. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'm very excited for what's to come because I know that it's going to happen no matter what, because I literally can't settle for anything less. This is the purpose that I'm genuinely dedicating my whole life to. That'll be the end of it. I hope you guys enjoyed this video and got a lot of value from it. That'll be the end of it. I hope you guys got a lot of value from this, and I'll see you in the next one.